Newcastle Saudi-led takeover could be back on after beIN Sports issue resolved. Potential deal still needs Premier League approval, but significant progress has been made. Agreement could be reached soon, which would bring Mike Ashley's 14-year ownership of Newcastle to an end. The deal that would see an end to Mike Ashley's 14-year ownership of the club still needs Premier League approval, but significant progress has been made following the agreement between beIN and the Saudis on Wednesday. The Qatari network beIN has been unable to broadcast in Saudi Arabia for the last 4.5 years as part of diplomatic dispute, but the ban is set to come to an end. The station has been opposed to the Newcastle takeover, saying the ban and piracy of its content was damaging sports rights holders. The consortium withdrew after the Premier League identified the Saudi stake as a director with control over the club, which would have made it subject to the league's owners and directors test as part of the takeover process. The Competition Appeals Tribunal heard last week. The league had been improperly influenced by beIN and rival Premier League clubs in its consideration of the takeover. Daniel Joel QC, adding for Staying Trams Holding Limited, said the broadcaster and the club's active lobbying of the league distorted the Premier League's fair and objective application of the rules. Takeover could now be pushed through. Sky Sports News reporter Keith Dhoni says the agreement reached on Wednesday could lead to Saudi takeover of Newcastle getting the go-ahead. He said, "There is growing confidence on Thai side tonight that the £300 million takeover, led by Amadeus Daily and backed by the Sovereign Wealth Fund of Saudi Arabia, could finally be pushed through after 18 months of talks. What must happen now is that it must ratified by the Premier League. That was the issue last summer, when Saudi element of the consortium didn't pass the owners and director test, with the Premier League looking for further information. It's our understanding that some of the elements have been agreed and this takeover could be pushed through sooner rather than later." Britain player arrested on suspicion of sexual assault. Britain statement: Britain and Hove Albion are request that one of its players is assisting police with the investigation of a leg offense. The matter is subject to the legal process and the club is therefore unable to make further comment at this time. A Britain and Hove Albion player has been arrested on suspicion of sexual assault and remains in police custody. The player in his 20s, who cannot be named for legal reasons, was arrested at a nightclub in Britain on Wednesday morning. A man in his 40s was also arrested. Sussex police said in the statement, reported being sexually assaulted at a venue in Britain in the early hours of Wednesday, October 6. A man in his 40s and a man in his 20s, both in Britain, were arrested on suspicion of sexual assault and remain in police custody at this time. The victim is receiving specialist support from officers. A Britain statement read, Britain and Hove Albion are request that one of its players is assisting police with the investigation of the alleged offense. The matter is subject to a legal process and the club is therefore unable to make further comment at this time.